Good morning, everybody. My name is Gabby. We are here with Champ. We are wrapping up his second week here at Best Paw Forward. He's a part of our puppy program, which is a 3-week program. And we are going to show you a little bit of what he's been working on this week, how he's doing with everything for week 2. So we have Victoria here handling him. You can see his little tail wagging. Very excited to start his training. So first thing we worked on with him is a little bit of Leave It. So when we start Leave It, what we do is we are starting with a piece of food in our hand. We're holding that hand out. All we're doing is marking with the word yes and reinforcing when he takes his nose off of that hand in the beginning. Okay, now one thing I want to note with Leave It is that we are reinforcing with a different piece of food from another hand. Okay, very important. The reason we do this is we want to make sure he's never getting that thing that we are asking him to leave. Okay, when we drop something in the kitchen that he's not supposed to have, we want him to know that he is not getting that item and he will get something else as a reinforcement. Okay, very nice. So as he starts to get better with this, what we're going to start doing is we're going to start looking for eye contact. Okay, so we don't immediately introduce that word Leave It until he's reliably looking away from that food. Good. Now in the beginning you might need to use a little bit of prompting to get him to look at you. So making a little bit of noise to get his attention. But he's doing very well right now.
Leave it. Yes.
Now you can see that Victoria actually has that hand open. It's higher up still, but we're going to gradually start moving closer and closer to the ground. We're asking for that Leave It, looking for that eye contact.
Yes.
Very nice, perfect. And then we're marking with a yes and reinforcing from the other hand.
Yes. Good boy.
Good. And as he starts to get better with this, we start to move closer and closer to the ground. Eventually, you will get to the point where you can drop that food on the ground. You can ask for a Leave It. Now we start with food, but you can use Leave It off of many different things. You can use it off of food, off of people, off of dogs, off of items when you're out for a walk, especially with a lab puppy. They tend to like to pick things up as they're walking. We've actually used Leave It with the leash as well when he gets excited and tries to go for that leash. Now with leash, obviously different than Drop It. So if we're asking for a Leave It, it's something that he has not yet got. Okay, so if he has an item, you're not going to use Leave It, you're going to use Drop It. Okay, which we'll show you in a little bit. So he's doing great with that. We're going to show you some place, which he is actually on one of our place boards. You can use something like this, like we have here. We have a couple different options over there as well. And that green place board over in the corner. Now, you can use something like these. You can use a dog bed. You can use a spot on the carpet. You can use a towel. You can use whatever for place. The only thing we differentiate is crate. Very nice. So when you start with place, very good. You start off with a lure. Once he's doing well with that, then you can use pinch fingers to kind of lure him on without any food in your hand. Then the next step is the verbal and a hand signal. Our hand signal is a flat hand with a sweeping motion. And now he is at the point where we can actually say place, give the verbal, and he's able to go on to that place, which is great.
Place.
Very nice. He's very enthusiastic. He really likes working on this. You can work on basics on place, sits, downs. It's something you can add to your basics. If he is jumping up or getting really excited, work on a little bit of place, kind of, and some basics. Very nice. Good boy. Awesome. So another thing we worked on this week is a little bit of hand target. So hand target, we use as another way of getting our dog's attention, okay? So great for puppies. What we're doing is we're holding our hand out flat, we're telling him target, And when his nose touches our hand like that, we mark with a yes and we give reinforcement. Now some puppies, like Champ, really like this. You can actually turn it into a game. You can use this to help with recall. Next week we're going to be working with him on recall. It's a way to keep that fun. Good. You can tell he's really good at it. He's really excited to do this session. Very nice. Good. But again, this is just another way of getting your dog's attention. So if you're out, work a little bit of target. Okay? Doing great. So next thing is a little bit of grooming. So we worked on some body handling, some grooming with him, getting him used to these items so that when he goes to the vet and they need to handle him, or if he goes to the groomer, he's already used to this. So we're gonna start off just with a little bit of body handling, very nice. So we're gonna put the clippers away real quick, just work. Very nice. So touching those paws, checking in those ears, checking in his mouth, all of these things, very important. We don't always think of working on this with puppies, but it is really important just to get them used to being handled and being touched, okay? So in the beginning, we're just gonna reinforce for quick, brief, very nice. Good. Once he's doing well with that, then we can add in the nail clippers, we can add in the brush. In the beginning, all we're gonna do is we're gonna hold those nail clippers, not really gonna do much with them. You can let him sniff them. Good. Just reinforce for calm behavior. And then we're gonna gradually start moving those closer and closer to his paw. We're gonna work on having those in hand while we pick up his paw for a couple of seconds. Good. Then we're gonna work on touching those nail clippers to his paw, eventually to his nail, and then eventually actually clipping his nail. But we're gradually working up to that point. Keep these sessions brief because they can start to get a little bit frustrated. Same thing with the brush. Just exposing him, having it in hand. In the beginning, we're gonna reinforce while we do a couple brushes on his back. Very nice. And then eventually he'll get to the point where you can just brush him without reinforcing. Very nice, but he's doing a great job with this. Last thing we want to show you is a little bit of drop with play. Now, very important with play. We want to make sure he can play appropriately. He is a tiny puppy now, but eventually he will be much bigger. We want to make sure that he is not jumping up. He doesn't care about the tennis ball. You don't care?
You have chicken.
He's like, I don't want it. Eddie. Cookie, where'd he go? You don't even want it.
Come on, kid.
So when we're working on appropriate play, we're working on with two similar toys. That actually really helps. We want to make sure he's not jumping up when we toss that toy. So we can put him in a sit, we can put him in a down. He's not really interested in these toys right now. So I'm gonna actually grab a couple of other ones. Give me one sec. Okay, so we have a couple of stuffed toys here that he has a lot more interest in. Very nice. We have two identical toys, which really helps when you're starting to work on drop it with these toys, okay? We did have to use a little bit of food there to get him to drop because he was really excited. One thing I want to mention when you are working on play with your puppy, again, making sure that he is able to sit prior to tossing that other toy. Good boy. Because again, eventually he will get big. We don't want him jumping up. We want him to play, but play appropriately. Very nice. So right now it's a little bit too hard to drop for that other toy because this is a new toy. So we're actually having him drop for that food reinforcement. And then we're picking up that other toy we'll ask for a sit, and then he'll go and chase that toy. Very nice, good boy. One thing I want to mention when working on play, never grab that toy and just rip it out of your dog's mouth. That can cause some resource guarding issues in the future, okay? So we don't want to do that. We want to make sure we are trading for another object, like another toy or food. Very nice. In the beginning, you're going to have that other toy, other food visible. As he starts to get better with this eventually, we'll be able to have that behind our back. Just ask for a drop and he'll be able to do that. So he's done an excellent job over the past week with us, week 2 of puppy school that we are wrapping up here. He has one more week. We look forward to seeing him again next week.